Hey everyone, that's Gold here, and today I have a tutorial on World of Warcraft, and this tutorial is pretty much just more to do with healing, so it's kind of like my part 2 of how to heal as Druid, but over this I'll be going over more, I'll go over in other important stuff as your Glyphs, talent builds, your stats you're looking for your Druid, including Armour, gems. Probably, if I got time, I'll go through enchantments. I guess I'll just try to go through as much as I can, but we'll just see how much time we've got on our hands, and we'll just go through. If so, I'll just make like a part 2 onto this video or so on, and we'll go from there. Alright, start off, I guess we'll go with the Glyphs. Okay, so the Glyphs are a pretty important part to your healing because you're getting a lot of bonuses and it just helps your spells out and so on, and just your healing as a Druid. So pretty much you want to try to get your primes in ASAP as your first option, followed by the mages and miners as you probably have expected. So the three primes you'll be using are Life Bloom, Regrowth and Rejuvenation. These are all your heals. They are the most important heals over time, if you ask me, and I use them the most. So to start off with, Life Bloom increases the critical effect chance of your Life Bloom by 10%, so an extra 10% onto that spell, which adds to the talent point bonuses, so that's extremely great, which we'll go through throughout this video of the bonuses of Life Bloom, but you want that in. Next you got increases the healing done by your Rejuvenation by 10%, so kind of like Life Bloom and the description, they've pretty much got the same. So pretty much you're getting bonuses onto Rejuvenation, which is extremely handy as well, so that's a great heal over time bonus right there. So Glyph of Regrowth, your Regrowth or heal over time will automatically refresh its duration on targets at or below 50% health. So pretty much if you got someone in your party who is going down and they're kind of staying at like 50% health, if you just chuck this on them, if they're staying around that area, even lower, the duration will just keep going through, even if you, so it's important to use this if you're trying to heal like your tank, who's your main priority, and so on. So that's pretty much your primes. You really should, it's important to have those in. Next are mages. I'll start off with Glyph of Innovate. So pretty much this is just saying if you don't use Innovate on yourself, you use it on someone else, you got 10%, the caster will gain 10% of maximum mana over 10 seconds, so you'll gain 10% of maximum mana over 10 seconds, as it says. But mainly, as you're probably thinking, I mainly use Innovate on myself, which I would, but it's handy in a raid or something when someone needs on a boss fight or whatever. So Glyph of Wild Growth, this is one which I always use as well. So what it does, it affects one additional player for the cost of adding a 2 seconds onto your cooldown of this spell, which 2 seconds for an additional one player. If you kind of pan it out, it doesn't really make a difference, so I'd get that in. And last one's Glyph of Rebirth, and pretty much this one, players resurrected by Rebirth return to life with 100% health. This is really handy because in those times where if someone's going down real fast and they've got a lot of rage on them in a fight, if you resurrect them normally without this Glyph on, what will happen, they'll probably go back up to 20%. If they've got rage on them still, even if they don't, they may go down real fast. So at least if you use this 100% health, you can you got more time to keep them up to a decent health and not to go down so fast again. So that is just a beautiful thing to have right there, I reckon. So that's our mages. So we've gone through our primes, mages, last one's miners. Alright, so your tree of life form now resembles a treant. Sorry, this one was Glyph of the Trent or Treant. Sorry, I can't pronounce it. My bad. Just correct me, I'm pretty sure I'll probably get corrected here or something, but anyway. Okay, so that one, these ones aren't currently important, I'll go over that. You can kind of put in whatever you like, but these are just ones I've chucked in. So, Glyph and Mark of the Wild, mana cost of your Mark of the Wild reduced by 50%, doesn't really make a difference, it's not too much mana as it is, but just I chucked it in, didn't really have anything else. Okay, so Glyph of the Unburdened Rebirth. So your Rebirth spell no longer requires a Regent. So that is extremely great because you don't have those Regents in your bag for this spell, and it just saves some bag slots, if you ask me. I'm one for saving bag slots. So those are Glyphs, and our next part are our talent builds, so we'll go into that. Okay, so now we're on to our talent trees or talent builds, whatever you'd like to call it. So to start off with, I'm just going to go through the main important parts of the talent tree or talent build, which I think are the most important areas. So to get started, you want to be in Restoration. The first, starting from the top, Natural Shapeshifter, rank 2 out of 2. This pretty much increases duration of Tree of Life form by 6 seconds, so you stay in Tree of Life longer, which is amazing. Naturalist, rank 2 out of 2, so reduces the cast time of Healing Touch and Nourish spells by 0.50 seconds. If you watch my previous video, I don't personally use those spells too much, but it's handy if you do, and sometimes I will, but not too often. Anyway, moving on. Heart of the Wild, rank 3 out of 3, increases your intellect by 6%, sorry. Enough said there, you're getting more mana, and yeah, what's not to love about that. Okay, so Master Shapeshifter, rank 1 out of 1. Tree of Life / caster form increases healing by 4%, so Tree of Life and caster form you're getting better heals going through, which is really great if you ask me. Improve Rejuvenation, so pretty much it just increases the effect of your Rejuvenation Swiftman spells by 15%, so if you got the Glyph of Rejuvenation 2, that's 25% bonus onto that spell, which we want. Okay, so Living Seed, pretty much you got a chance of one of your party members getting a Living Seed on them, so when they do 30% of your heals, 30% of the heal, okay, you're getting a bonus of 30% onto your heals that are going to your party members that you're healing. Okay, sorry, that was a bit of a tricky one. So Living Seed, rank 3 out of 3, you want that, definitely. Okay, so Revitalize, what this is doing is pretty much you have a 20% chance to instantly regenerate 2% of your total mana when you're using Rejuvenation or Life Bloom, as well as you get this bonus when you got the talent points on this, which is called Replenishment, and it's like a buff, so it grants up to 10 party or raid members mana regeneration equal to 1% of their maximum mana per 10 seconds. Okay, so next we have our Nature's Bounty, rank 2 out of 3. So this increases the critical effect chance of regrowth spell by 40%. And in addition, when you have Rejuvenation active on 3 or more targets, the cast time of your Nourish spell is reduced by 20%, which is amazing. Bonus on regrowth. We definitely want that when healing. And also, yeah, so Nourish, if you use that spell, cast time is reduced and so on. Once Rejuvenation is active on 3 or more targets, so that's great. Okay, Empowered Touch, rank 2 out of 2, increases direct healing done by your Healing Touch regrowth and Nourish spells by 10% and grants those spells a 100% chance to refresh the duration of your Life Bloom on targets. So refreshing the duration of Life Bloom is not always the best because it's a really good spell. Once it runs out, it gives the player a massive heal, but it can be good in ways. Continuing, so Healing Touch, Regrowth and Nourish spells, direct healing, 10% bonus, that's great. Okay, Malfurion's Gift, so whenever you heal with your Life Bloom spell, you have a 4% chance to cause Omen Clarity, so if we go to Omen Clarity, which is around here, occasionally activates Clear Casting, which makes your next feral ability or cast time spell cost no mana, energy rage, so this is amazing, so no mana cost, that is great because you're not running out of mana so fast. So we got that going. Efflorescence, rank 3 out of 3. Your Swiftmend spell causes healing flora to sprout beneath the target, restoring health equal to 12% of the amount healed by a Swiftmend to the 3 most injured targets within 8 yards every 0.86 seconds for 6.86 seconds. Okay, so this is great as well if you use Healing Touch a decent amount. Sometimes I will, not too often, but it's also great for Swiftmend and so on. Okay, so Wild Growth. This is a spell you really want, and it's a great heal over time for a party, and it's kind of like an AoE as well, so you benefit greatly from it. Okay, so yeah, that was rank 1 out of 1 because it's the only thing you can only have rank 1 out of 1 on it. Okay, moving on. Gift of the Earth Mother. Ooh, sounds good. Okay, so rank 3 out of 3 increases the healing done when your Life Bloom expires by 15%. So Life Bloom, once it's gone through its duration, extra bonus 15% of your healing increase, well, heals done. Also, and causes your rejuvenation spell to also instantly heal for 15% of the total periodic effect, which is great, and we want that for rejuvenation. Swift rejuvenation, so reduces rank 1 out of 1, reduces the global cooldown of your rejuvenation by 0.56 seconds. So that is great for rejuvenation, and if you've noticed, we've got a lot of bonuses on that spell as it is, so I want to use that a fair bit. Tree of Life, so pretty much Tree of Life, you get a lot of bonuses. If you want to pause the video, look at what you get, but it's amazing and it's good to have for those raids, healing parties, dungeons, anything like that. So you want that there, and a lot of your talent trees built on it, so get that in. Alright, so Fura, so grants you have, so pretty much just going on to what we need to look at here. Increases your maximum mana by 10%, so that's also kind of like Heart of the Wild, we get more mana. Nature's Mask, so we've gone from Feral Combat to Balance, so we got, oh sorry, you want rank 2 out of 3 for your Fura. Okay, moving on. Nature's Majesty, okay, so rank 2 out of 2 increases the critical strike chance with your spells by 4%, so better heals. Moonglow, rank 3 out of 3, reduces the mana cost of your damage and healing spells by 9%, you're saving more mana. Nature's Grace, rank 3 out of 3, you gain 50% spell haste after you cast Moonfire Regrowth or Insect Swarm lasting 15 seconds, so that's great for your regrowth as well. It's something you just, and better haste as well, so all of that works together. And yeah, it's pretty much, it's simple, you just gotta spend some time looking at it, and now we've done that, we can move on to our next area. Okay, coming up to the end of our journey as healing as a Restoration Druid, we have got our stats attributes, which pretty much will be covering our armor, our gems, and it should also cover our enchantments if I'm correct. Okay, so to get started with, we want to be looking at our stats and attributes, so pretty much we're looking at intellect as being our top priority because intellect is our mana, and if you got a lot of that you shouldn't be in too much trouble, so that's great to have, so look out for that. Then next you want your spirit to be capped, so try to get that as high as you can because that's faster mana regeneration, which, so if you got a lot of mana, if you got a lot of mana and you got a really good spirit, you should be good to go. So third is your haste. Now a number I've looked up is 21.43% is good to have because haste is like how fast you cast spells, and it's great because pretty much when you've got that buffed you get 2 extra ticks on Wild Growth and Efflorescence, which will become really handy. And pretty much after your haste you're looking at mastery and crit. But going back to our haste and spirit, if you're low level in gear, one thing you should kind of just do is maneuver your haste and spirit, because pretty much once you've done that, it kind of just, it'll work together and it'll work nicely with your playstyle. And then your master and crit, pretty much they're equal on theoretical value, so they're pretty much like the same like weight. So if you have these two, don't worry about them too much, but just try to get them to the same potential and try to get them to contribute as well as one another would towards your attributions, and your stats for your druid. So pretty much that's all you should really worry about, I guess, in the end. And I hope this really did help you out. If you got any other questions and so on, and you want me to give you some more guides, tutorials, videos, anything like that, please feel free to, and I'll try to get around to that. Thank you, and I hope this helped.